My name's Ninu Galot. I've chosen to come out and speak about vitiligo, which is a skin condition that I've been suffering and battling with for the last 14 years. Why I've decided to speak about it now? Well, let's just say it felt like the time was right. It wasn't an easy decision to make, as I'm opening up about something that's very close to my heart, about my emotions, my feelings, what I've gone through. Even before deciding to do this and discussing it in the media, I thought to myself, what would people say? Then I thought to myself, well, hold on a minute. They're going to be proud of me, and that this will help others as well who are also affected by this skin condition. The decision not to cover my vitiligo is me showing myself self-love. And the thing that scared me the most, and I covered up for over 14 years, I'm now proud of to show it off. It's my trademark. Hi guys, so I'm at Heathrow today. It's been 1 week since I've done my fitness competition. After doing the fitness competition, I had a lot of people asking me, Nina, how did you manage to get the vitiligo? And most importantly, how have you got to the stage now where you can't really see it, you know? I mean, if you look at this, if you look at me here, this is in 2004. And if you look at the pictures of me on stage, pretty much there's been a huge, vast improvement. And everyone wants to know my journey and how I've managed to heal myself. And I look forward to sharing that with you. Oh God, so I've made it. Nearly thought I'd missed the flight then, so it's the flight closing but they're still boarding. But yeah, no, we got here on time and yeah, let's go. Just made the flight, we're rushing for it as always, but yeah, and I'm hoping that it'll be a lot warmer in Milan than it is over here, so let's go. So we're in the beautiful city of Milan and it's raining. So we managed to get away from London just to come over here and be surrounded in the rain again. So whoever knows me really well will know there's 3 things I'll probably do on a city break. Either the first one would be food, shopping and sightseeing. And I'm going to do exactly everything in that order. So let's go. So people used to say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Now for all you guys listening out there, the way to my heart is definitely through food. I'm not sure what I was going to have to say about this, but carbs galore, cheese, and if you look at that feta cheese on there as well, he'd say that's a big no-no. But the good thing is, there's no sweets or wine or any form of alcohol yet. But watch this space. Yeah, tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get up and interview the doctor. And the best thing is, I'm gonna have no pain. All I'm gonna do is go there, interview the doctor for you guys, and that is it. And if I have a test patch, that is only to show the process of having it done, because I don't want to have it anymore. I'm happy within myself and I don't need it. So I've learned to accept myself and love myself for who I am, and it's amazing. I actually love this whole new feeling. Look at my screen now. So when I was 25 years old, I first started having my treatment in Milan. That was in October 2004. I've been coming here for 14 years now. Today's obviously different because I'm doing this documentary to let you guys know about the treatment, and if anyone's out there who wants to do it as well, explain the process, speak with the doctor, and so you guys can get a feeling of how it works as well. Because what I found in the last few weeks after the competition is that everyone's very shocked to see how I've got better, and I want to be sharing with you guys exactly how I've done it. All I can say now is that I'm a lot stronger person from everything that I've tried, and I'm more confident. When I first went for the treatment, I didn't know what to expect. There was a language barrier there. I mean, my doctor, she's great. She can speak English, but sometimes there's a bit of a language gap. But she's been amazing. She's been very supportive whenever I've been going there. And at the start, I was obviously quite anxious because I didn't know. I was in a different country, I was having a new treatment done, and I didn't know if it was going to work or not. But I had faith in the doctor, and that's what made a difference. I want to share with everyone that this treatment does actually work. I've had it for 14 years, but last year I decided myself, I got to the stage when I said, you know what, enough is enough, and I didn't want to put my body through it anymore, hence the reason I stopped the treatment. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are still battling against vitiligo, and are probably at the stage where I used to be, and they want to find a cure for it. Hence the reason why I'm taking you guys on this journey with me to the doctors today. So if there is anyone out there who's not comfortable within their skin yet and they want to try this treatment, it is available. Now, this treatment isn't available yet in the UK, and this is something that I'm looking to discuss with the doctor today, is the costings of the machinery, and to find out if there's some way that I can bring the machinery over to the UK, because it's not possible for everyone to travel there. And in that sense, I have to say that I'm blessed to have been able to come to Milan. But what people don't know is that I've been working hard in the background as well. This isn't something where I am today in life. Yes, I've had a supportive family who've helped me do it, but I've always worked hard to get to where I am today. I have my own property business, and I was working on that from the age of 18 when I was first at university, and I've just built from there. And whilst I was having my treatments done in Milan, I was still working. I was getting on the flight, I was still speaking with the solicitors, I was still buying properties, and I am where I am today because I work for it. So this is where I used to have my treatment. Just so we can explain, Doctor, what we were doing. So
this is the machine.
Okay.
If you want to know something about the function of this is a microphototherapy. Sorry, try to another, because the display is not...
okay, so we do like a test patch just on the wrist so people can see how the treatment works.
Yes.
And we'll do like the photo checkup, which is something that I used to
no problem.
have done we used to do every 6 months the checkup, that was right? Or was it every 1 year?
Every 4 months, 6
6
months.
months,
yes.
okay. And so every 4 to 6 months, I'd have a checkup as well. This is when the doctor would take photographs of basically of me completely, I was going to say completely naked, but that's how it is. And she would then have a look to see how, just like to compare against the previous photographs to see if areas have got worse or if they've got better. So she would be able to tell, because this UV light, infrared lighting, I think it's infrared, but the doctor will explain what kind of lighting it is. But that lighting allows for the doctor to see what we can't see through the eyes, basically. Do you know all the other places in the world where you provide this machinery?
We have now in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And we have India.
You have this machine in India?
Yes.
Do you feel in different countries people are affected differently by vitiligo? For example, how do people react to the treatment emotionally? How does it affect people in different countries? Does the culture and people's way of thinking, you know, they don't know if they shake someone's hand, can they catch vitiligo? Yes. So now if I shake your hand, you don't have vitiligo, but if you touch me, does that mean you might have it?
Yes.
So people don't understand.
Understand. Yes.
How would you explain what vitiligo is?
No, I explain with speaking with my patient and explain that vitiligo is only skin problem, not infective, not infective, and only just psychological influenced by the emotional state of the person, because it's a chronic disease which is under the influence of the psychological situation. But first of all, to resolve this, it's very, very important to treat with the right methodology.
What would you suggest? I mean, treatment-wise, psychologically, what can be done?
You can have just your personal problems, you know, or perhaps possible you don't know, but we have a disease, psychological disease, you don't understand what is this.
Yes.
And you can speak with a doctor specialized in psychological disease. So you explain your situation, and for example, our doctor, psychological, helps to the patient to understand.
So a psychologist can really help someone.
Yes.
Because last year when I came back from...
Because I can speak about this, because really we have just a change of your immunity,
okay,
which is scientifically documented.
Right.
And this is the reason which the patient needs treatment, medical treatment, like a medicine, like a physical treatment. In this kind, it's phototherapy called Ratoderm. Okay, because we are persons, but not only not only psychological,
sure,
emotional. We are also, this is material, and so we need just really medical treatment.
Yeah. I remember I used to always ask you, is it something within my body? So maybe I'm lacking some vitamins, or by having a blood test done?
No, we have a lot of study about this, because some dermatologists explains that, for example, vitamin B12, the last studies are about vitamin D.
Sure.
Is very useful, because is a vitamin important in the process of production of melanin.
Okay. For people out there, I'd say the first point of call would always be to have a blood test done to check if the body is lacking anything, if everything's okay.
Yes.
And then having this treatment, but also psychologically, maybe seeing a psychiatrist as well. But I know sometimes when you mention to someone about seeing a psychiatrist, people think, why should I see a psychiatrist? I'm not crazy. I mean, doctor, how many people do you think are affected by vitiligo?
One every 100.
One every 100?
1%, because it's very, very extended.
Okay, so that is correct then. It's 1% of the world's population.
1%, yes.
Okay. So we mentioned briefly in Saudi Arabia they have this treatment.
Yes.
They have it in India.
We have in Spain, we have Brazil, and we are hoping to enlarge this methodology in other countries. Because the problem is to find the equipe of the doctors, the investigators for opening the center. But it's possible because we have just possibility to enlarge, and we are very happy to diffuse the methodology in the world because a lot of people need this.
So the main question everyone wants to know, and I know they was asked, and they've been asking me as well, is why is this machinery not in the UK?
In this moment, not still found the exactly combination to open this, but possible.
So this is something we'll have to discuss.
Yes.
And maybe this is something that can be set up in London. Because apart from doing this treatment here, you do a lot of conferences as well where you speak on stage to people.
Yes.
What kind of talks do you do? Do you do talks about the treatment, or do you talk about the future of vitiligo?
One subject and just one another. Principally about the treatment.
Okay.
But also the other problem.
And how would you... In terms of the vitiligo, are women more affected by vitiligo than men? In terms of the patients that you have coming here?
Women are statistically, the problem is more in women than in men, yes.
Why is that?
We don't know because what's the reason of this?
Okay.
Probably emotional traumas for in women more than
we're not better at controlling our emotions.
Possible, but
okay.
it's not.
Would you say psychologically people in different cultures are affected differently by vitiligo?
Possible, sure, possible, yes, because every person has a story, personal story. And so this is possible.
Okay. And do you find that people try to hide the vitiligo?
Yes. Try to...
Like, for example, when I first started coming here, I never had it on my hand. So in the winter time, when I was coming here with tracksuit and I was all covered up,
yes,
nobody would know if I had vitiligo or not.
Yes.
So it was easy for me to hide. And I wanted to hide it because I wasn't confident to show it off. I used to worry about what people would think if they asked me questions, and especially for women as well, when you look in magazines and you see all these perfect models with a perfect skin, it's very hard for women where you have all these things like Botox and people looking a certain way. It makes it harder for women to accept what's happening to them.
Yes. What's happening is difficult to explain, but not possible to explain exactly what's the problem.
Yeah, okay. And do you find that people have a lot of support? Because, you know, with me, when I first started having my treatment, every single member of my family has been coming with me to support me, which has helped me.
You in your family?
Oh, no, yes. So I'm the only one in my family who has vitiligo, but my mum, so my cousin in India, she has it.
Okay.
But now when I've been doing this documentary, everybody that I speak to knows of someone who has vitiligo, or maybe has a small patch themselves. This is the reason why I don't believe that it's only 1% of the population affected by it. Because how can
you think it's more?
I think it's more because to me it seems everyone I'm speaking to at the moment says to me, I know someone who has it. And they also say to me they know how traumatized people are from it. And they say to me, wow, it's really brave of me now to come and speak in front of the camera, because nobody speaks about vitiligo. At the moment, I mean, it's fantastic. If Winnie Harlow watches this documentary, then you know what? Hands up to you, lady, for going out there and doing what you're doing. It's amazing. I looked at you as an inspiration to come out and speak about it, because I thought, you know what? If she can get on stage and be confident within her skin, then why can't I? There's other inspirational women like Priyanka Chopra. You've got Deepika Padukone. You know, she talked about her depression. The Selena Gomez. You have a lot of strong, powerful women these days who are coming out and speaking about the issues that they have.
Yes, but I think it's a question also by technological means to speak about this. Probably
Yes.
in these last new years we have just by internet the possibility to speak more and more about vitiligo.
Exactly. Definitely, the internet's helped
Yes.
to get the message out there.
Yes, I think so. I am in YouTube with my new video.
Perfect. Okay.
And so possible to speak about this because
Wonderful.
YouTube is international.
Okay. The one main thing that we haven't addressed here, and obviously this treatment has worked for me. I can't vouch for how it's going to work for other people, and I want to make this clear. I'm doing this documentary because it's worked for me, and I want to inform people about all the different methods I've tried. But this is, every different person reacts differently to the treatment. Would you
Yes.
say that's correct?
Yes.
So the results that I've had, it's not necessary someone else will have the same results. Is that correct? Everybody's body reacts differently to the treatment.
Yes, this is
for each person
just a
is
little
different.
subjective reaction. One person more, one person less, but I can speak. I can say that from my database we have a lot of data because we treated more than 5,000 persons.
Wow.
And so we have a lot of people, but the treatment is efficacy just in 90% of patients treated.
Okay, and this is what we used to put on before and after the treatment. We're going to have to speed up a little bit because the doctor has the next patient here. So, yep, this is just an emollient that's applied on the skin before the treatment's done.
Okay,
And the doctor's
for
going to
example?
show exactly what was done.
Okay, and just move these to have completely after on the patches. Okay?
We know when the treatment is working because the skin, the pigments, it starts to turn to pink. Is that right, doctor?
Yes, right.
Yeah?
Yes.
And initially, when I first started having it, we used to have to wrap it up with this cream, and we used to wrap me up in cotton wool before I
Yes.
used to travel back.
Yes.
Because initially, before my skin got
More
used to it,
efficacy, yes.
it was painful.
Yes, yes.
It is
just,
painful.
Just little painful, not so much.
Okay, but it's becomes less painful the more treatment you
Yes,
have because the
to
body
have,
gets used to it.
Apply the cream just 2 or 3 times in a day.
And sunlight, like go on the beach, things like that.
Yes.
That was one thing you used to always say to me is go to Dubai and take lots of sun.
Yes.
Is that
yes.
correct? It helps?
Yes.
The sunlight helps?
Yes, it's a good help.
So this is, the machinery is called the total body. Doctor, can you quickly just explain how this machinery
Yes, so
works?
this is our total body for the treatment of vitiligo in a combination with the selective treatment, because this way is to prevent the extension of vitiligo.
After having the first treatment, where they actually target the individual areas where the vitiligo is, this machinery, you pretty much go in there. It's a bit like a sunbed. You go in there and you're naked. You just stand inside the machine and you have, it's UV light. Is this correct?
UVB, narrowband.
UVB narrowband light, which basically you can go in there for a few minutes. It tans the skin, so it prevents any other areas where the vitiligo might be appearing. It stops It
Yes,
stops it
it's
from spreading.
some exclusive model because the bottom is dynamic, is moving.
Yes, it
Under the
rotates.
treatment. You can see.
Yeah, if you can just put on to show it, that'd be great.
You see this moving slowly. The only rat of derme is model exclusive.
Of course.
Okay.
So initially, to start off with, did this machinery and the other machine, did they come out at the same time, or was
The same before selecting and just immediately after the total.
sure? Okay.
The same session.
Okay. So initially, when I used to come in at the start, I think my treatment was about 45 minutes, 1 hour.
Yes.
When I first
Yes.
started the treatment, because we were using the individual patches. Do you have time to quickly show an example?
Fare qualcuno. Io
So I used to have the
pazienza.
individual treatment first, and then after that I used to get inside the booth and I used to expose my skin. Initially to start off with 4 minutes, but as my body got used to the lighting, then it got increased to about 8 minutes at a time that I was having it done.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you exactly call this machinery? What is this
It's a
lighting?
wood light total body. Wood light.
Wood light total body. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
with this kind of lighting, it allows us to see what we can't see from the eyes. So you can see under the skin
Yes.
to see
Yes.
where the vitiligo is.
Yes, it's for a exactly diagnostic of the situation.
Okay.
And so I can see the spreading vitiligo under the skin.
Okay.
Okay, the new future
The future
possible
of it.
patches of vitiligo.
And this is the part that I used to always hate. The
Yeah.
number of times after this checkup that I used to get so upset if there was new patches. So let's see. Fingers
Yes.
crossed, I hope.
And usually you know, take the pictures and register on the computer to compare the situation before and after.
Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, so gonna get inside the machinery so we can have these photographs taken, and fingers crossed there's an improvement,
Sorry.
or whatever the situation might be, and let's capture the moments together to see what's happened in the last 1 year. So I don't know how much of a true picture we're gonna get, because obviously today I've got on blusher and I've got on under eye concealer and I've got on mascara, so I don't know if it's going to affect what the results will be. And I've also got some cream on my skin as well, whereas usually in the past I would literally have woken up, no cream, no makeup, nothing when coming here and doing the checkup. So let's see. And obviously also it's only been about 10 days since the fitness competition and I had a spray tan, though even though I said for the areas around the vitiligo to be avoided, it seems there could be slight traces of the spray tan that have gone onto the white patches, but the doctor said it shouldn't affect the results. So let's see. I'm going to have the pictures taken now and we'll compare. Okay, so obviously just had the photographs taken. I forgot how much I hated this part because it's facing the truth, and this is what tells me if it's got better or worse. And even when I was having the photographs taken, all I could think at the back of my head is that this is the part that I hate, because in a few minutes I'm going to find out if it's got better or worse. And the main focal point for me has always been the areas which are exposed. So it's always been, the first thing I always ask the doctor is it on my face? But like now, there's no need for me to ask about the hands because I can see it.
But obviously what this machinery does is it shows what the eyes can't see, so it's by going skin deep. And sometimes it's better in life not to know. It's better not knowing what's actually going on, because then you don't have to face the truth. So let's see what the results are today. Wow. I hate actually doing that. So we've actually gone through all the photographs going from 2004 to 2017. Looking at the photographs, we can see that without any treatment, there hasn't been any change, pretty much. But now when I'm looking at the pictures from the start, I started the treatment in 2004. Within a year, the picture shows that I was completely healed. A couple of years later, some patches started coming back, and then again a couple of years later, it was healed. Which goes to show the treatment does work, which is what I've always said. But it's a matter of how the body reacts. Now, external factors can affect it. I mean, if I want to now, I can go back. I have to think in life what was going on to see what was happening around me, which would have made it worse. And the choice is here for me to carry on doing this again. But do I want to? In the last year, since I haven't had the treatment, I've learned to live. I've learned to accept myself for who I am. I suppose it's raising the question as to, if I want to do it again, who would I be doing it for? Is it for me, or would I be doing it for other people? Is it a question about being perfect? Is that what it comes down to? Because that's what I've done all my life. I've always tried for perfection, whether it's in business, whether it's academically, whatever it might be. And this is one area where I've never been able to control things. So you guys can see how it's emotionally affected me over the years. And this was the reason last year in October that I chose not to carry on with the treatment. There were a lot of factors at the time. I was going to the airport, the flights were being cancelled. I turned up here, and I think once or twice the doctor wasn't available because she wasn't feeling well. And I took this as signs as, you know what, I can't be doing this anymore. And that's when I went traveling. When I went traveling for 6 weeks is, I don't know, a lot of people turn around and say, oh, did you go to discover yourself? Because when people take off to go traveling on their own, that's what people usually think. And that wasn't my reason for going traveling. I went traveling because I loved traveling and I wanted to explore. But whilst I was out there on the last day of my trip, you know, I had a breakthrough and I realized that, hold on a minute, I've traveled for 6 weeks. I've traveled to many countries. I went to Singapore, I went to Thailand, I went to Hong Kong, I went to Australia. All these different countries I went to, I was wearing different clothing, and I realized that no one noticed the vitiligo apart from me. So who was I trying to please? when I got back, I chose myself that, you know what, this whole condition was starting to make me introverted, and I didn't want to do that. I've always really been a bubbly, sociable person, and I didn't want to let the vitiligo affect me or control my life. So in January, I moved up to London, and being in London, being around people, it helped me to gain more acceptance, and I also started opening up about it and talking to people as well. And I found whilst I was talking to people about it, I became more comfortable in my own skin. And it was in about April, May time that I decided to do this fitness competition. And it was through the challenges of doing this fitness competition where I was on low calories, and emotionally I learned to become stronger, which allowed me to get on stage in a bikini and show off the vitiligo. And which has also made me strong enough to come here and talk about it and talk to you guys about it as well. But what today has done is just reminded me of the different stages that I went through, and I can't believe I lost 13, 14 years of my life doing this. And for who? I've done it today to show everyone, but I don't want to be doing this treatment because I don't need to. The last 1 year where I haven't had this treatment is the happiest that I've been. And the reason for that is because I've learned to accept it, and I'm not fighting it anymore. You'll see the smiley bubbly me back in a minute. But vitiligo does affect people, and it does affect people emotionally, but it's okay, it's life. And there's nothing wrong with opening up. An eye-opener for me was when I went traveling last year for 6 weeks on my own. I realized that no one noticed the vitiligo, it was only me. People love me for who I am, my family, my friends. The only person who didn't love myself was me. Yes, I smiled a lot, but that was for everyone else. But now, I'm finally smiling for me as I've accepted the vitiligo and that it's a part of me.